Welcome back to the Lab Trainers to another episode of Saccharum Versus. Today I have a GBA match between me and GeCorri. Again, I am the owner of the Indianapolis Keldeos, and he is actually the owner of the Baltimore Honckrows. I don't remember if I uploaded any GBA matches last year, but that was actually the old team I was before I decided to switch. We didn't actually follow through and finish it the last time, but this time we're actually going through and finishing it, so let's get going. As you can see, I have Pikachu, Lopunny, Klefki, Keldeo, Donphan, and Mr. Mime, and he is sporting the Lapras, Audino, Houndoom, Lunatone, Hawlucha, and Honckrow. So without further ado, let us get this party started. And you can see that I was leading off with Pikachu because I thought that was my best possible bet for a lead, because I could just Volt Switch out into anything, as he does decide to lead off with Lapras. Now this actually had me a little bit scared because I wasn't sure how specially defensive Lapras was, so I did decide to go lead off with the Volt Switch. So that allows me to get some good damage off on the Lapras and then come back, as Mr. Mime does come in to take any sort of special attack that it does decide to do. Frost Breath being a move that I believe always has a critical hit, but it doesn't do too much damage just because I have, you know, a very high amount of special defense and HP. As I do go for the Thunderbolt here just to weaken it further to see how specially defensive it is. I see that it's not it is not especially defensive that well, as it goes for a Psychic, and that does allow me to actually get a good amount of damage off. And I don't want to switch into Pikachu here because I know it cannot take a hit to save its life, as I do go for a Dazzling Gleam right here and deal a good bit of damage actually to it. Not trying to like fully knock it out, I guess, yet, or predict a switch just in case. And then he does go for the Water Pulse actually right there, I'm assuming. I forgot, I didn't actually look at it. As I do go for the Thunderbolt here to go for a clean knockout, and Lapras is now down. So that was one really big threat out of the way. But I did notice that GeCorri had a huge weakness to fighting as I was looking out at his team. Now Hawlucha being his only real fighting resist. I decided to go into Klefki right here because, you know, Mr. Mime cannot take a physical hit for anything, but Klefki can take one pretty well, as well as Donphan, so these are both my physical walls. I do decide to go for the Reflect right here, as he did go for the normal gem boosted, Retaliate before, which did a decent amount, but not enough, as, you can see that the Flying Press actually comes through and does nothing, as he does decide to withdraw the Hawlucha here, go straight into Houndoom, and this actually kind of scared me, because I didn't want to take a Fire Blast or a Flamethrower or anything quite yet, or even like a Flame Charge or Flare Blitz if it does learn those, I don't remember. And I do decide to switch Klefki out here and go straight into Keldeo, because I'll resist any sort of fire type move that he does decide to go for. As I see the counter come off on the Houndoom, I go for the Hydro Pump to try and knock it out very cleanly, but it does actually have a Focus Sash, which is extremely scary. He does decide to go for the counter here. I do go for the Hydro Pump again, and unfortunately miss, as he does go for the Destiny Bond, and that terrified me. I did not want to lose a Pokemon to Destiny Bond quite yet, because I wasn't sure what I was going to need, what I wasn't going to need. So I do decide to go into Lopunny, as he does go for the Sucker Punch, and I do actually try to stall out any potential Destiny Bond that he might be trying to go for, as I do go into Klefki here, realizing that he doesn't have a fire type move, being that he has only the counter and the Destiny Bond and reversal and stuff like that. I do decide to keep switching though, just to try and PP stall any sort of some stuff. He exposed the reversal, but he didn't have actually any fire type moves on this Houndoom, which was really interesting. So I decided to switch out here and go back into Klefki so I can finish setting up my hazards and then set up my screens and stuff like that, so that way the rest of the match was pretty much set. So I do decide to go for my second layer of spikes here, as he is going to be trying to go for the reversals and counters. The reversals actually do end up taking out a lot of damage on me, so I do decide to go for another spikes right here, and if he goes for another Destiny Bond, that's fine, because I can always set up another hazard or screen, some sort of protection here, as I do go for the Reflect right here, just to take any sort of physical damage that's going to be happening. So the reversal does come through now, and now that Klefki is knocked out, I can safely go into Lopunny and sweep his team potentially. So here's the point where the battle where I had to make sure that I went for Fake Out. I had to Mega Evolve, go for Fake Out, that guaranteed a knockout on Houndoom with no loss of Mega Lopunny, just because the Destiny Bond was not active in the turn prior, and it wouldn't be active because I outspeed it due to Fake Out. So Houndoom is now knocked out with a critical hit, which probably mattered, and he does go down, and he does decide to send out Honckrows. Now I was debating on whether or not I wanted to switch out, but I do decide to go for the high jump kick after calcing it and realizing that it would be a one-hit KO. So I did decide to do that, as Honckrows does go down here. The Hawlucha does come out, which kind of scared me a little bit, and I didn't want to keep Lopunny in here. So I did decide to go straight into Donphan right here to take any sort of physical hit. I know that Retaliate was going to be coming, so I wanted to eat up any sort of physical hit that was coming my way. And look at that. It did only 32 damage to my 185 HP, and I gained most of it back with leftovers. He does go for the acrobatics, which does a lot more because it does not have an item anymore, and I do decide to set up my stealth rocks, just because more hazard damage is pretty much key. Because I have all 3 layers of spikes and stealth rocks up, he's not able to really do anything in this match anymore. And now Hawlucha goes for another flying press, which actually manages to get a critical hit and do a ton of damage. I go for the knockoff here, thinking that he still had his item on, and realizing that he didn't. I was very confused at the moment, and I was at this point kind of just sacking off Donphan, because Donphan did its job. It set up rocks, which was exactly what I needed, and it's just going to deal a bit more damage to this Hawlucha, which is exactly what I need, as Donphan's actually hanging in there pretty nicely too, with the leftovers recovery coming through. The acrobatics is doing a little bit of damage. It is going to be able to do enough to bring me down to 11. The knockoff comes through, does a bunch of damage, bringing the Hawlucha down to half, which is very key, as the leftovers actually brings me back to 22 HP. The reflect does wear off, which means, that this flying press is going to be doing a lot more damage and going to be able to knock out Donphan, which is alright, because Donphan did exactly what it was supposed to do, and I'm very proud of it, as Lopunny does come back in. And with the fake out return combo, actually I just decided to go for return right here to deal as much damage as possible. I should have went for the fake out, but I guess I had no reason to go for the fake out, because it just was faster this way. He does decide to go into Sailor Moon here, and I was actually curious as how defensive Lunatone actually was, because I've never seen it before, and I realized that's actually very frail. So I do go for the high jump kick, and I'm able to OHKO it right there. And I believe he only has 2 more Pokemon left after this turn, and he has the Audino. Actually, the Audino is his last Pokemon, to be completely honest. I just realized this now. I forgot exactly how this battle went. It's been a little while, as he does take a lot of damage from spikes and rocks. He does decide to go for the Mega Evolution right here to get the Mega Audino. And then we see him go for the Calm Mind, I believe, after I land this high jump kick. Because of the fairy typing, it is not super effective anymore. He does go for the Draining Kiss to deal a ton of damage actually to me and get most of its HP back. He does land a critical hit, which is why it actually did so much and got him so much more HP. The high jump kick is not going to be able to knock him out this turn, but he does end up going for a Calm Mind instead of another Draining Kiss, which actually would have been his better play here. But because he set himself up, he actually let himself go down to a return right here. So friendliness takes it all. I didn't want to risk another high jump kick in case I crashed and landed and took all that damage, and I would have lost my Lopunny. So good game, GeCorri, and good game to the Baltimore Honckrows. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because your support would be spectacular. Also, don't forget to check out the description where I have the links to my Twitter, my Twitch, my YouTube is already here. There's my Twitter, my Twitch, my Facebook, and my Instagram, because you can check all that out, and then you'll have yourselves a grand old time checking out some other things. I guess, I don't know what I'm saying, but again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time when you visit the lab. Bye!